is the type of sugar that's the culprit in causing heart attacks and obesity and diabetes. All calorie-containing sweeteners contain fructose, every single one of them. And every single disease that occurs as a result of sugar consumption is due to fructose. It causes obesity, heart attack, and diabetes. But fructose is never found alone in nature. All natural forms of sugar contain fructose paired with glucose, but added sugars don't. So when the food industry lumps all sugars together, they are hiding critical information from you. So the bottom line is that fat is not the only cause of heart attacks. Sugar is just as fatal. But with everybody focusing on low fat, the food industry just keeps adding more and more sugar. And the kind of sugar they're adding is fructose. And fructose is as responsible for causing heart attacks as fat is. So you have to avoid both fat and sugar if you want to prevent a heart attack. And I don't mean to shock you, but hey, look, if you don't believe me, just look around. Notice how many obese people there are. Notice how common heart attacks are. Notice how many people have diabetes type 2. Notice how much sugar you see in foods, even foods that have no reason whatsoever to contain sugar. And notice how ever since the low-fat movement started, people have gained more weight, have had more diabetes, and have had more heart attacks. You might discover that you yourself have some of the problems caused by sugar, and I don't want a heart attack to be one of them. But the truth is, most people are truly addicted to sugar. It is one of the most addictive substances on earth. And in my opinion, I think the fact that the food industry can add sugar to food and not really let you know about it, and do it so in a hidden way, I think it's one of the biggest criminal things on earth, because it will make you a sugar addict. And when you are addicted to something, you crave it, and your taste buds need it. And what happens with sugar is the more sugar you eat, the more sugar you have to eat in order to taste the sugar. So when you are addicted to sugar, it takes a whole lot of it to satisfy you. And this just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You keep developing a tolerance to sugar. If you quit eating all sugar just for a month, you would be shocked at the end of that month if you tasted something sweet, because it would be so sweet that it made you almost sick, because you wouldn't believe how sweet it is. And the only reason you'd realize how sweet it is because you've given your taste buds a break, and you've kind of reversed the addiction. You've made it so that your body doesn't crave and want the sweet anymore. But with sugar in everything and hidden there, you don't know you're eating it. But your taste buds know, and you're still being primed to want more and more and more sugar. And so in a way, it's like the worst addiction there is, because it's legal, and it's legal for the food industry to put it in anything, and it's legal for them not to say it's there or to hide that it's there, and you don't know that you're getting it, and you just keep putting more and more in your body and needing more. It's a terrible addiction that leaves you unaware. With smoking, you know what you're doing. With alcohol, you know what you're doing. With a drug that's recreational, you know you're getting something that's making you an addict. And that's one thing. That's bad enough. But to have something imposed upon you that's in your food supply, that doesn't belong in the foods that it's in, that's awful. And the fact that it's fructose, the kind of sugar that causes heart attacks, makes it so that you're doomed. And this is one of the biggest problems I see with the food supply. There's a great book called Fat Chance, and it's written by a physician by the name of Robert H. Lustig, Lustig. And it explains all this stuff about sugar and diabetes and how it leads to all these things. It's not the easiest to read, but it is so precise, and it's so perfect in terms of showing you how this is all so linked and everything's tied into the other things. The bottom line is, if you reduce your sugar, you reduce your risk for a whole bunch of diseases, including everything related to obesity, including arthritis, heart attacks, diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it. I mean, a whole slew of diseases go way down on your risk list just by stopping sugar. Just sugar. And you know, you're welcome to have all the sugar you want out of fruits and vegetables. And of course, if you're not eating all the sugar that the food industry puts in foods, in the processed foods, you'll be shocked at how sweet fruits and vegetables actually are. They've got a lovely, lovely natural sweetness to them, but you probably don't even taste it if you're used to the other kinds of sugars that the food industry adds to processed foods. I recommend that you look at all labels all the time. Never, never, never buy any product without looking at the label. And when you look at that box, that nutrition box, look at the total carbohydrate and look at how much of it is sugar. If there's a lot of sugar in the total carbohydrate, if a large portion of that carbohydrate is sugar, put it back on the shelf. I taught you something like this before when I was doing nutrition labels, and I taught you the 5-to-1 rule for fiber and carbohydrates. The rule there was look at the total carbohydrate and look at the fiber and divide them. And if it's over 5, put it back on the shelf. And the whole point there was you want a whole lot of the carbohydrate content to be fiber. Well, guess what? Anything that's not fiber is sugar. That's all that carbohydrates are. It's the fiber and the sugar. So what this is about is minimize the sugar. And if the sugar content is high, don't even buy it. Once you buy it, you're going to eat it. So don't even buy it. And if you keep doing that and you lower your sugar content and you stop eating so much sugar, you will train your taste buds not to want it. And when you don't want it, you won't eat it. And you will find that your health is so much better in so many ways. And you will lower your risk for a heart attack tremendously. So it's all connected. It's all important stuff. And the more you can do to decrease your sugar content, the better. Okay? So I hope you are seeing how important all of this is, and I hope that you are learning all of this in order. Please, please, please go to my website. It's menopausetailor.me, and it is full of resources for you. If you want my book, it's there. If you want articles to read about all sorts of things that are fun and catchy and short reads, a couple pages, there's a bunch of articles. They're free. You can access my YouTube channel, which is Menopause Tailor also, and it has videos. With my videos, I have props, I have models, I show you things. I mean, it's magical because you learn in such a great way that way. You can get my webinars. It's the entire education in 15 webinars. As long as you watch them in order, you're all set. You get the whole education. Or if you still have a DVD player, you can get the same thing on DVD. Whatever works. The whole key with this education is regardless of your educational style, regardless of your budget, regardless of your timeline, I want you to get this education. This is the menopause education that all women deserve, and I'm giving it to you. Your job is to get it in order so that you can make use of it. This is where I will tell you goodbye. I hope that you listen in on the next podcast to hear me talk about the symptoms of heart attack in women. What an important topic. So please tune into that one too, and I will see you then. Bye.